4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats. Have your first drinks. Please come down.
It's been a long wait for this pub in London, but it was ready to open its doors the moment restrictions were lifted after midnight on April 12th. And for these pub-goers, it was not a moment too soon.
Yeah, no, it's been too long. Haven't seen these socially for a while, and yeah, it's just good to be, well, not this time, but it's good to be out.
Tough measures have been in place in England and in other parts of the UK since early January to suppress a surge in coronavirus infections that swept the country late last year. Along with outdoor service at pubs and restaurants, on Monday, gyms and fitness studios were also allowed to reopen, as well as hair salons and non-essential retail shops. That's good news for many businesses, which have struggled to stay afloat amid several stretches of lockdown over the past year.
Really, really worrying. It's my only source of income, so it's put a lot of pressure on our family as well.
Britain has had Europe's worst coronavirus outbreak, with more than 127,000 confirmed deaths. But infections, hospitalizations, and deaths have all fallen thanks to the lockdown and a mass vaccination program that has given at least one dose to more than 60% of the adult population.
All right, let's go to DW's Charlotte Chelson-Pill. She is on the story for you. Charlotte, Mr. Boris Johnson calling this a major step forward. How excited are people about these changes, and what's it like being in London today?
That's right, Layla, and I think a lot of people would agree with Boris Johnson today. This feels like a major step forward. It has, in fact, been months since people have been able to gather like this in pubs, outdoors. It feels like they've been closed forever, almost, for the people who are gathered here, they tell me. But, of course, it's not just for the good news for the people who are wanting to have a couple of drinks here today. It's also great news for the pub owners. They've had a very, very difficult time. We know that across England, lots of jobs, thousands of jobs have been lost. Businesses have closed. So good news here today. It does feel like a major step forward for people hoping for at least some semblance of normality to return.
Yes, obviously a lot of optimism there where you are, but health officials continue to warn that people should not become complacent because there are still many variants that are spreading quickly. What restrictions will remain in place?
That's right. The government here is still urging caution today, reminding people that there are still these restrictions in place. Now, some of the lockdown measures are being eased, as you can see. A lot of others remain. For example, indoor dining at pubs and restaurants not allowed at the moment. There's a big indoor space just behind me which has to remain empty. There are also limitations on the number of people who can gather outside, indeed the number of people that you can't mix with other households in your own home. A lot of restrictions still in place here. That's because Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, has said he wants the easing of restrictions to be cautious but irreversible. So it is happening in a multi-step plan with a goal in 5 weeks to unleash more restrictions and then more going forward in June as well.
Right, and what about the rest of the country, Charlotte? How is the rest of the UK doing?
Right, well, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland generally throughout this pandemic have broadly been in line with the rules and regulations being put in place in England. Today, though, it is just England that is celebrating the unlocking of both outdoor pubs, restaurants, hospitality and non-essential shops as well. Those two things in conjunction are unique to England today, but more measures are going to be unlocked in the other nations over the coming weeks.
All right, Charlotte Chelson-Pill reporting from London. Thank you very much.